Well, here's John Black, Super Chemist, one more time. Still on the playlist called Pastafarian Rules. And, you know, I smoke a lot of weed or whatever. So let me go over it, even though it's not on my list to talk about it, is about drugs. Pastafarian God is against drugs, all drugs. I'm not being a good Pastafarian by doing drugs. And alcohol is a drug, people. Don't be stupid. Is it a sin? No, it's not really a sin. But it's not good. It doesn't help society. It doesn't help the family unit. So therefore, the Pastafarian is against it. You know what I mean? It's not that he's, you know, the fact is that if you start a drug, you might be predisposed to get addicting to that drug. Like alcohol, I could do alcohol all day long. I could never be addicted to it. Pot, I did it. Now I'm addicted. Same with other drugs like crack, coke, meth. You get addicted. But even doing those drugs, is it wrong? No. I mean, it's wrong because it's stupid. And the reason why you're doing it is because they're weak. You know, and if you're a Pastafarian and you're doing drugs, at least admit to yourself, don't lie. Don't commit don't go against the first commandment of not lying. You have to be honest that you're doing it because you're weak. You can't have fun because you're too weak to do it without the drugs. You can't handle life. And you know what it is with a lot of drug use? It's just boredom. You know, past the fact that people have horrible lives or they had horrible past, a lot of drug use is and my drug use, man, it's just boredom. I would just be bored out of my freaking mind if I didn't do drugs. You know what I mean? I would just literally I'd be so bored. But it is a thing, it's a sign of weakness. It's a crutch. It's not good. It's nothing to be proud of or whatever, you know what I mean? But again, it's not really, I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, I try to keep it down to whatever, you know, the weed. But, yeah, drugs are not good. But again, should you have your property taken off you and be thrown in jail and, if you have a business that's taken away, your family destroyed because you had some drugs or you're doing drugs? No. No, 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 no. But getting back to my list, I was talking about a Pastafarian hates communism and global government. And the reason why is because communism is about the government. See, communism is woke, okay? The woke religion, they worship at the altar of communism, okay? They like communists because their God is the government, okay, in the woke religion. The government is God. And it's the same with communism. In communism, the government they're supposed to control your family, your kids, everything, down to the way you think and talk. Communism. And global government is just a corruption. It's not good. It's never good, ever, ever, ever. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as, living in a future and, Star Trek. We're going to have a federation and, no, 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 no. No. No such thing as federation. If you really want it, as close to you can get to a utopian society, that isn't the way you do it, okay? You do it by one country figuring it out how to do it and then passing it on and helping the other countries out after, not during, after. After they figure it out, then they get the other countries on board and everyone will be great. But I'll get into that, each one of these probably more and more in other videos. A patriot, okay? A Pastafarian is a true patriot, okay? No matter what country you're in. Even if you're in an evil country, okay? Being a patriot doesn't necessarily mean you think that everything that your government does is great. Okay, that's not a patriot. That's actually the opposite of a patriot. Okay, so that's what this thing that they, when a communism takes over, first thing they do, okay, and you can read 1984, which is a book, or The Brave New World, I think it was called, a book again, how in any communist book or any book on how communism that has been had in the past, they all have one thing in common. They're ripping down statues, replacing definitions of words, um, rewriting history. Okay, these are the three main things. If you see that happening, your country's being taken over by communism. So look around in our country. You know what I mean? All the utopian books have this in those three ingredients. Same way with communist books. Same way with communist books like history. This country was communist, and now someone wrote a book about it. And then it always starts out with, hey, they did was change every definitions of words, and change the history, and change the statues by ripping them down and stuff like that. Anyways, a patriot is someone who loves their country and wants to make it better so that the family unit can survive and be thriving in that great country. But that doesn't mean you just go along with everything, okay? Like, I'm a patriot for the United States, okay? But I see a bunch of stuff crap going on. I don't like it. It ain't American. It's not Pastafarian. I'm against it. That doesn't mean I hate America. That means I need to get off my lazy ass and help change America so that it's more Pastafarian, more fair, more good. You know what I mean? But a patriot, it's like the Catholics. So here's a good example of a bad patriot. Okay, when a Catholic priest is a pedophile and they catch him, pedophile and some kids, right? What does the church do? What does the other priests do? The other priests swoop in and they grab that bad priest up, and instead of calling the cops and putting them in prison and making them pay and making them stop and preventing future, molestations, what do they do? What do they do? They move that priest to another congregation so that he can pray on other children and molest them, and then they just do it and then move him again when he gets caught too much, and again and again and again. They just keep on covering it up. And the reason why they say that is because they don't want to put a stain on their organization. Okay. See, that's not being patriotic. That's not being Catholic. Okay. Being Catholic could be he is the stain, not what he didn't put a stain on the Catholic religion. The stain is on the pedophile. Okay. And if the Catholic organization would pick out that pedophile, punish him, get rid of him, make sure he doesn't do it again, that wouldn't be a stain on the Catholic organization. How would that be a stain? A rogue priest was a pedophile and he got caught, and so we did the right thing. That would only be a stain on the pedophile. Okay, but what does the Catholic Church do? Because these priests, they don't really believe. The Pope doesn't even believe. None of them believe in what they preach, and in their God. Okay, but you don't put the organization above what the organization believes. That's not being a patriot, and that's not being a good Catholic. Okay. So if you see something, being a good patriot means if you see something bad, you stop it and you change it and you make it better. Okay. Doesn't mean that you just turn your back on your country and say, I hate my country. Even if you live in the most biggest dictator and the most corrupt country in this world, you should still be a patriot. Okay. The Pastafarian God wants you to be a patriot because he wants you to love that country, even though it's a crap hole piece of garbage country you live in. And you know why he wants you to love it? He wants you to love it because if you love your country, you will stand up, and you will, even if the whole government is corrupt, and it's like really like, Hitler type stuff. You can find other people and form an organization and fight, and eventually it might be, violent or whatever in these third world countries, but you could overcome these dictators, and all you have to do is believe in your country and have, you can do it. You know what I mean? But if you're not a patriot of your own country, you can never fix it. You can never, and there's good patriots and there's bad patriots. There's patriots in Nazi Germany that were like, hey man, I love Hitler, I love Nazis, let's burn some Jews up. Those are the bad patriots, but they were still patriots. But they were bad patriots. The good, and you might say, well, all the patriots in Germany were bad. No, not all of them were bad. There were people in Germany that were actual patriots that loved Germany, and they hated what was going on. But at that point, they got suckered into it. They didn't open their eyes fast enough, and there's nothing they could do about it. But if they could do anything about it, they would. They didn't want. They were just too weak to do anything about it. But there were patriots in Nazi Germany during Nazi times that were, hey man, I hate Hitler, but I love Germany, and that's why I want to kill Hitler so I can help Germany, my country that I love. It's always good to be a patriot. It doesn't even, and I'm not saying if you're from Venezuela or you're from Iran or you're from Italy or whatever, you shouldn't be a patriot of my country. You should be a patriot of your country. If you're in Iran, then you should love Iran. You should try, if you think Iran isn't doing the right thing, you should try to change it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't. I'm patriotic for my country because it's my country. I don't want you to be patriotic for my country. I want you to be patriotic for your country, because that way you can help fix it if it's screwed up. You know what I mean? See how much time we got here. Okay, so a Pastafarian is always brave and strong with his beliefs. Okay, like if there's a biological man that walks into a little girl's changing room or bathroom, you need to stand up. You know what I mean? You have to stand up for things like this that happens. You know what I mean? I believe more than anyone in trans people, but if you're a biological man and you're a trans woman, yes, you have a female brain, but that's it. That's the only thing that's female about you. Your chromosomes, your biology, your sex, it's all male, and therefore you have to go by the male. You know what I mean? Dressing rooms are about your nakedness, not about your mind. Okay, if it was about your mind, then it would be a different story. You know what I mean? But it's not. So you need to stand up and stand up for what's right. You know what I mean? If you have a bunch of white guys and one guy talks some kind of racist shit on a black guy, you got to stand up for that black guy. If you're a black guy and you're standing in a crowd of black guys and the white guy walks by and one guy's racist to him, you need to stand up. Okay? I mean, no one says if you're in a crowd of people that, you actually think they might shoot you in the head if you stand up. Well, don't stand up, obviously, then. But if it's just your own friends that they're not going to do anything violent back at you, they might rib at you, they might even call you names, but they ain't going to do anything violent. You should stand up for what you believe in. And because, see, being Pastafarian has a lot of beliefs that are American. You know what I mean? An American believes that everyone has the right to pursue happiness. And you can't pursue happiness if you're living in a society that is always putting you down because you're fat, because you're black, because you're ugly, because you're non-binary, because you're different, because you're weird, because you're short, tall, whatever. Then you are not that person that is being racist against you or putting you down they're taking your right. You're American, you're Pastafarian, your God-given right to pursue happiness. And it's hard to pursue happiness when every time you go out in public, someone's putting you down, right? So keep that in mind. See,